we were pushing and pulling, we were seeing the differences. We have seen a scenario with a conflict as well, right? Today, let's look into something interesting.
Just a quick question, like in reality, when you create a repo, it always creates main, right? But we always use master. So you guys normally delete that main file or just rename it as master?
Actually, when you create from the UI, like if you create a repo from the UI, it was showing as a main. Otherwise, it will create a master when you create a local, like a Git in it.
Hi
See,
Preethi.
I created from this UI an empty repository, right? Then it was creating as a main.
Initially, I tried creating like a repo by pushing it, but it still shows like main folder, but I defaulted it to master and
See,
removed
when
the.
you create a repo with some default files from this UI, it will be main. Like you create a repo here with a file. You just create an empty repo, it won't have anything. If I just create an empty repo this way, you will not have any branches at all. Whatever you push from your local, either master, it will have it. But like, let's say if you have created something else with some default files, then it will be creating as a main. Both are considered as equal.
Okay.
Hi Preethi. How this account is created? GitHub account.
Just a second, please. Repo 4 and readme. Like if you induce some file here to initialize repository, it will be initialized with the main. That's all.
And
Both are same.
I tried to create private also, but it's giving me error like some kind of a HTML error on GitHub side.
Just share the screenshot, okay? What error is it so that I can see better. Share the screenshot. What is the error you are seeing? And let me know. And someone is asking another question.
Yes, Preethi. I'm asking
Mhm.
how this account, GitHub account is created.
Go to github.com, create a free account. It will be asking you to use a name and password, just like any other Gmail or any social networking accounts. You can create a free account there.
Okay.
All right, coming back, this is my repository repo2, and this is the local one which is connected to it, right? And git status. Okay, whatever. So this is what we are having. Let's look into another interesting scenario here. See, there were 7 commits, some 4 files were there. I'm adding a new file here. Okay, some line here, file 2. So if I want to get these files to my local, like to update the local repository, what should we do?
You have to pull.
Let's say we have to do a pull, right? Before that, let's say I'm having here some file6.txt. Okay, what I should do?
First, you have to add and commit the local one, and probably next you have to commit the pull the changes from GitHub
Yeah,
repo.
yeah. Let me add this git add and git commit -m on local changes, something like this. Now let's say if I want to push, will it allow me to push?
No.
Git push origin main. What happens now?
Ma'am, one request, ma'am. Whoever is not speaking, if they can go on mute, it will be fine, because some background fan is coming up. Yeah, thank
Please,
you.
I'm requesting everyone as well. Please keep muted. If you have any questions, unmute and speak. Otherwise, please keep muted. That's the problem we'll have. Yeah, push, git push horizon main. What happens now?
I think we'll get an error to do a git pull first.
Yeah, means it's actually, do we have a conflict here? Is the conflict case?
No, but the main
Yeah.
repo is updated So with the file,
Yeah,
probably.
repo should be updated, right? Always we should have the latest changes. We discussed this in the last session as well, but I'm showing it again. We need to get the changes, right? Like, so whenever I say push, it will reject the changes because first you have to pull. And that git bash is slow. Here you can see it's 8 commits. Okay, it's saying updates were rejected because remote contains some work you don't have locally. So what you have to do, git pull origin. Okay, so you got this change. Pull means it will pull and merge the changes. So you got the changes. Now, if I do push, okay, done. It has pushed the changes. Now, earlier there were 8 commits. Now, if you see, do you see how come 10 commits were added? Yes, of course, the changes might have been pushed. Yeah, this is the file, right, from local. Why there were 2 commits? Do you see that? This is just created because we have made some commit here. And see, because you have pushed them, see, this is the actual change we need. But because merge happened, one more commit ID was added. 2 commits were added. We just want to push our changes. Means one commit it's actually. But because it's merging, 2 changes, 2 commits were added to the repo. Right? So it's just because of merge an additional commit ID was added. Is there any way we can avoid it?
Rebase.
Let's do it with another file. Let us repeat this use case. File 7.txt. File 7. Local also there were some changes. Let's say file 8. Okay. Right, let's commit these changes. Git add file 8. All these we have discussed, so I'm not explaining what is add and commit. We have already learned this. We are well versed with this part. So git commit -m. Git commit -m local repository changes, something like that. I have given the commit as LR. Okay, done. Now I want to push them. So git push origin main. So it will reject, right?
You have to pull first and you have to push again
Yes,
later.
whenever I push, it will reject. So I have to pull. But whenever I pull, it's merging. And whenever it's merging, it's adding an additional commit ID. So what I'll do, pull git pull origin main with a rebase. -r means pull with a rebase. So it will avoid that unnecessary commit ID just because of merging. Now when you push, okay, there will not be 2 commit IDs. Let me just show you here. It's already updated, I believe. 11. Only one. Do you see earlier there were 10? Okay, it's not yet pushed. And this is the one I made here. Let it push. Now, if you see, there should be one added. See, only it became 12, not 13. Got it, all of you? See, this is previous one. Okay, this is previous one. Once I made a commit on remote, then these 2 were from local. Similarly, here also, this is the second scenario. I made a commit on remote, and the one that is pushed is LR, the commit, no merge commit ID. Can you see that? Right? This is ideal, right? Like whatever I push, I want to push the changes. Only this should come up, not the merge commit as well. So this is what is pull with the rebase, pull with the -r. We have already learned the concept of rebase, right? Rebase is like it will help you to rewrite your log. It will avoid unnecessary commit IDs. That is again the same concept. But whenever you're pushing to remote, it will avoid the unnecessary commit IDs just because you're pushing. Right? This is how pull with rebase can be used. And this is a no conflict. We did not have any conflict here. Correct? Is this clear, everyone? Understood?
Yes.
Yeah, this
yes.
is how pull with rebase can be used in reality. The other rebase we have learned we will not use much, but this can be used to avoid this unnecessary ones. As this is clear, shall we take up a concept with a conflict? Same thing with the conflict. Yeah, we have already seen a conflict scenario. Today we'll see that with a rebase. Yeah. Let's see. Let me create a file here. File9.txt. Right. So if you see here, there will be a new commit, one commit. This one. Okay. Fine. Now here also I'm just creating file9.txt. Kubernetes. Just some line and then add this. -m. Okay, done. Now I want to update. Sorry, I want to push my changes. What I'll do, git push origin. It will ask us to pull, right? First, let me try to push. Yeah, what I should do, git pull origin main. I'm not doing rebase first. Okay, without rebase, I'll show you first. So because I get a conflict, when I pull, there will be a conflict because that's a conflict scenario. I'm not doing rebase here. Okay, first I'll do without rebase. Then I'll do with rebase. Okay, I got this. And see that file9 is having a conflict. We have also learned all these things, right? How to resolve the reason for conflict. If anyone have missed those sessions and if this is your first class, please make sure you are attending those sessions. Okay, you watch those recordings. We have already learned those things in detail. Here it is just like using those concepts. So I just need both of them. Have made some changes. Now I can do git commit with -a -m. Okay, so git commit -a -m, let's say conflicts. This one we have seen in the last session also, same scenario. Yeah, conflicts were resolved. Now you can push. There were 13 commits and now I'm pushing the changes. How many commits will be there on remote after push?
14.
Two.
2 additional will add.
Means how many will be there?
15.
15.
Yeah. So one is the actual change I want to push. Another one is because of that merge, conflict resolving and all, like because of merge. Okay, we can say it's because of merge. Either it's no conflict or conflict, you will have another one added. Right? So this is a conflict scenario. Can we use rebase here as well and see only one commit? Yeah. Yes, possible. Let's see that. File10.txt. Commit message, you may give some good message. Let's TF for EC2, something like that. Okay, file10 is there. Now also, let's go to the repo and there were like one commit added, which is 16. Now, git add file10 I believe you are all clear with these things. If any questions, please let me know. Added this, committing this minus m. Okay, that's the actual commit. Now I want to push the changes. Git to push horizon, it will ask me to pull, right? Okay, so this is very obvious. Now we need to pull the changes. So git pull horizon main. So if we do this again, whenever it is merging, it will create another additional commit ID, right? So pull with a rebase in this case also, like whether you have a conflict or no conflict, you can pull with a rebase to avoid those merge commits. Git pull with rebase. See, as you got the conflict, you can see this here, right? Again, the same, like you add the changes, whatever you want. I'm just keeping both of them, right? Like you edit the file. Okay. Now add it and commit it. Git add file then. Okay. And you can check the status. See, it will give you like whether you want to undo this or whether you want to proceed. I want to proceed. So this is the command, git rebase continue. So rebase will continue. Some message like I'm just giving as continue. Save this, right? Once it is done, then push it. This is what we want, right? We want to push our changes. Earlier there were 16 and now with this push, how many will be there? How many commits we can see?
One
Addition.
extra. Only one.
What?
See, only one. Right? Because we did pull with the rebase. Only this one is pushed, nothing just because you are merging. Correct? So that's how you can do pull with the rebase to avoid unnecessary merge commit IDs. Right? If you just don't want to put those merge commit IDs just because you're pushing. Actually, this is the commit we need. We don't need additional one just because you're merging. If you want to avoid that, you can use this pull with the rebase.
One question. So in unusual scenario in real time, like would that impact in any way for the application or anything, like having an additional commit like that?
It just increases the log, right? Why do you want to just increase the log history? Commit history is just growing up because of those additional commit IDs, right? Just to avoid that and keep it clean, we do pull with rebase.
Okay.
So that is about Git and GitHub. We have learned more than that's required for your interview or as well as from your work point of view also, like to work in the project. This is more than enough from the perspective of managing the files. We have to learn it from the perspective of CI/CD. We will do that as well. But from the point of managing the files, we have went an additional step. So you don't need to work on anything else. If you master these things, whatever we have learned, this will be enough. And now I'll show you few more things which will be helpful. One thing which everyone will be asking about is fork. Everyone, in the sense, we don't use this much in reality again, but generally when we see the repository, everyone just see this fork. Fork is like there might be some public repository, open source repositories will be there, isn't it? Like Docker has got its own open source repository. So many open source repositories will be there. If you want to take that as a base or take that as a your base and develop above it, you may fork it to your account. Like let's say you search here, you can search your in this repo or else entire GitHub. If you want to search, you can do this. See, search all GitHub. Okay, you can search for some Docker repositories. See, here it comes, search all GitHub. There might be some open source repositories for Docker or else PHP, or if you are a developer. Open source repository means they're available for free. Anyone can develop on it, over it, right? See here, Docker official repository. If you want to provide and contribute to Docker? Yes, you can. So what you can do is you can fork it. See, it's enabled now. Fork your own copy means if you fork it, it will be added into your account. Like it will be seen under my username. Some open source repositories you can fork it and you can develop about that. Like I have forked a few of them. If you see my repository list, yeah. See, MediaWiki is one such application which I have forked. You can see here, forked from. That's an official website. I have forked this where we used to do some hands-on for Puppet on this. Some examples on Puppet we used to do on this. So yeah, I have forked it for some reason. When you forked it, yeah, it's under your account. So when you forked it means you can do whatever changes you want here. You can develop from here and it will not be visible to the original one. So from here, you can just develop about that. So that is where forking can be helpful to fork some public repositories. And then if you want to develop as per your requirement or else you want to contribute, that's where forking can be used. Okay, that's one option you have. Later on, again, it's again a remote repository on your account. You can clone it to local. You can do whatever you want. See, this is also a cloned one. Sorry, forked one. Yeah. So that's a fork. That's a one thing you have. One feature available.
Fork also, it's like a copy or clone only, right? But maybe the term
To
is
your
different.
remote account, not clone is to your local. It will create a local repository. Forking is you're just adding the repo into your account. A remote repo. Again, you have to clone it to your local if you want. If you're copying to local, then it is called cloning. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is my repo. Now let us look into another interesting thing. See, like I already said, there were different branching strategies implemented. Generally, the branching strategy will be like you will not make any changes here directly. If you want to make any changes, see, find or create a branch. I'm creating a branch called B1 from main. Okay, so you got a copy here. You may just now pull it to your local. You can pull the branch. You can work on it again, push it. You can do that. So yeah, let's suppose, yes, I have made some changes in here. Git on B1, I made it. Now, okay, this is working fine. I want to merge to B1. It's not that you directly merge to sorry, I want to merge to master or main. It's not that you can directly merge or push to master. You can't do that. Okay, master branch will be protected, means there'll be settings. See, your main branch is not protected. Protect this branch. You will create some rules. Okay, require a pull request. Okay, see, if you select this, no one can merge or can push to master directly. They will have to raise a pull request and it will require approvals. How many? You can put more than one also. More than one means your lead and manager, both of them have to, right? Whoever are in your team, it depends on your team. Required number of approvals too. Only till two people approve, it cannot be merged. Following? Yeah. That's how master branch is protected. Or else three people have to approve. Maybe let's say that's a project where the source code is kept. Let's say that's a Java repository, development repository, where DevOps team will add Jenkins file. Okay, where DevOps team might be adding some configuration files. So DevOps lead should approve, development lead should approve. Correct? So that's where you will choose two approvals. Following everyone? Yeah, that's how you can choose this option. I'm not choosing this, but yeah, still we can raise a pull request. But if you select this, it would be mandatory. Correct? So that's how it can be like secured. Your branches can be, see, branch protection rule. Now what I'll do, let's suppose I made some changes on B1. I'll make some change here. Let's say on file 9, I'll add something. They commit directly to B1 or else if you want, you can raise a PR. Anyway, PR is nothing but pull request. This is GitHub. On Bitbucket also you have similar option. It's called merge request. The name may be different, but concepts, everything are same. If you work on GitHub, you can work on Bitbucket very easily and vice versa. So raise a PR. I need a PR. From where you want to raise a PR? New pull request. Okay, from compare changes across branches and you want to push. I want to push from B1 to main. See, it will show you when I say B1 to main, it will show you like, see, this is the line added, right? So it will show you. You can raise a PR. You can put some comment what it is about and create a PR so that the reviewer will understand why you made the change. Because I am the person, only person here, I got this option directly. Otherwise, only your approver will get the option. Okay. So they can say this branch has no conflicts. They can, if they want, if they are okay with the changes you made, they may merge it, merge the pull request, confirm the merge. Again, you may add some comment and it will be merged. Pull request successfully merged and closed. Now, if you see the change on main, that file, see 1 minute ago it was updated, right? That's how PRs work. Master branch will be protected branch. Whenever either a developer or DevOps person, developer means they'll make changes to the code. DevOps means you may be making changes to the CI/CD pipeline changes or configuration changes. So whoever make the changes, they can't directly commit or push to master, right? They have to raise a PR like this we have seen. And once it is approved, it will be merged to the right branch. Clear?
Ma'am, when you are doing pull, that is from GitHub to our local repository. But here, when you say pull, it is from B1 to
This
main?
is pull request. That is pull. This is pull request. PR.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
See,
when you are doing
git
pull
pull
request,
origin main. Git pull
yeah,
command is to pull to your local. Right?
correct. Yeah, that I
PR
understood.
is
Yeah.
to, it's a merge thing. You want to merge something to main. That's a pull request. That's why on Bitbucket it's called merge request. The terminology is as such.
Okay. Yeah, because
Right?
both are saying pull, so I got
Hmm.
confused. Now I understood. Yeah.
Yeah. On Bitbucket it's called merge request. And that's how it is. Right? Any more questions?
One more question, but it is not related to this. But like when you're doing like git push, you're saying like git push origin main. But when you're doing git pull, we are not saying anything. We're just doing git pull. So why is that?
No, we
Is that a
are saying
syntactical
it.
difference?
Git pull origin main.
Oh, okay.
Also,
So
because see, you are on the same branch, it will be pulled, but we'll put the branch name as well.
okay, okay. And is it necessary to put origin?
It's mandatory.
Okay, okay, got it.
Origin is where your remote is set to. This part also we have covered in the last week. Origin means
Okay,
your
okay.
remote URL. We have configured it if you remember. Git remote minus v. If you see, origin is nothing but your remote.
Remote, yeah, okay.
Remote will be referred as this.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
On the GitHub, when we choose the number of approvals, 1, 2, 3, it shows the number where, I mean, like anyone can approve, or where that person who actually have to get approved will get configured.
There only you will have that. Settings, branches, you haven't protected. Add branch protection rule. Protection rule, some name to your rule, require pull request. And the collaborators' names will be shown here. And when enabled, require number of no change requests before they can be merged. If I say to require review from code owners or whoever. Already also those people should be added to the repo as a collaborators.
Okay.
First here, collaborators. Okay, see here you have to add people. You haven't invited anyone. You have to add them. Then they will be added into that rules.
Got it.
Branch protection rules.
Preethi, when you pull something from remote repository to local repo, so do we have to, if we have only one branch, that's a main branch, so do we have to mention branch main in every when we request it?
Branch name is not mandatory, but it is preferable. I think the new versions of Git is branch name is mandatory.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't make any difference, right? You better you maintain, you write the branch name whichever you want to pull. Also, you are pulling into main means you can pull only main branch, not the other branches into this. So it's very obvious you may omit that also. But certain versions of Git, you have to provide the name. Let me check Git pull origin.
Normally, if we are working under a local repository, no one would be working on master. They would be creating another development branch and like B1 and working under that. If you pull git pull, since this B1 was created from master, it pulls all the changes from master. So there you don't need to mention origin branch or something. Since it is
See,
like
here I'm showing a main as it is a local. Here it could be main or anything, right? It could be main or anything. We'll be pulling only that branch. We don't want to pull all other branches generally. So we put the branch name because see, in the real project, if it is a project, there might be 10 branches or so. I don't want to pull all of them. See, when I did pull, everything got pulled. I don't want all of that actually. So we will put the branch name. It need not be main. It might be something else, but always best practice is you put the branch name. You just don't want to pull everything there and update all the branches, correct?
So now it pulled B1 branch as well?
Yes.
Okay. Can you check it in the local one?
It is a feature actually where you can sync with your collaborators development branches as well. If they are pushing some kind of a new branches, it is available on your local branch also. Let's say like you push B2 and I don't have B2. When I input command git pull origin, I will be having B2 in my local so that I can see the changes in my local for my collaborator changes as well. So that's the reason you'll be getting all the branches if you type git pull origin.
Yeah. That's what I was saying, right? You'll get all the branches, but generally, without consciously, you don't want to pull all of those things. There might be 10 or 20 branches. Do you pull all of them in reality? Or by knowing which branch is having what changes you will pull, or you will pull all 20? You will never use this one. You will use git pull origin branch name because you want to know which branches you want to pull. You know actually which branch to pull. Blindly, we don't pull all the 20 branches, isn't it?
Preeti, can you elaborate one example? Main to branch
Main to
pulling.
branch. See, please don't get confused. It's just pull command. Okay, git pull origin. If you don't put branch name means whatever branches are there on remote, I have 2 or 20, all of them will be pulled. Okay, but if you know which branch to pull, let's say developer want to test a particular branch. Okay, they will tell you which branch their latest changes were. You will pull that branch. If you want to pull a specific branch, you will put the branch name. That's all. It's not that you pull all the branches, whatever there on the repository. Some branches might be incomplete branches. Some branches might be like a failover branches. You don't want to pull all of them and you don't work on it. You pull whatever branch you have to continue your work. Pull origin will pull all the branches. Pull origin branch name will pull the specific branch. That is the only difference. Clear now? Still confusions?
That means like we have to use this one only when we have a single branch in it.
If you want to pull all the branches, blindly use it. Okay, or you want to just test all the repos, you want to just test all the check all the branches to your local, use this. Okay, you can use it if you want all the branches in your local. I'm saying in general, we will know what branch we have to work on it. We will pull that branch. Git pull orders in that branch name. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Ma'am, suppose if an organization is working on IRCTC application and they have already 10 features in them, and they are working on the 11th feature, they'll create a branch for that 11th feature, say the homestay feature, and a developer will ask that branch to get pulled. That is how it is.
Let's say they were making some changes. Whenever that's a new feature, they'll merge it to the actual branch. Okay, let's suppose there is a branch which goes to QA for testing. Okay, they will merge it to that. Then we will use that QA branch, not this feature branch directly. They'll merge to the, like, let's say there might be a QA branch, there might be a pre-prod branch, then it will be merged to master. Right? That particular branch we will pull. Like they have merged it to QA, the latest codes. Those changes we want to deploy. You can pull that particular branch after merging and testing.
Ma'am, could you please also explain how this different environment works? Do we have
We will
different
do that. We are going to create CI/CD. We will do that. We are going to create CI/CD pipelines from these branches, right? We will talk about that.
One thing, ma'am, is it just only one GitHub account per user in organization, or it's based on the different environments they will be having the different GitHub accounts?
Generally it will be one account with multiple repos. Multiple repositories will be there.
Okay,
Not for environments, for multiple projects. There'll be multiple branches for environments. How you'll create those multiple branches, CI/CDs, we will talk about them once we start our pipelines.
We are going to get the complete experience of the real-time projects, right? I mean, in this training.
Yeah. Yeah. This is about Git and GitHub from the perspective of managing the files. Now we will be working on CI/CD pipelines on the actual repositories, right? We'll be working on a monolithic application as well as a microservice application, and we will create CI/CD pipelines for them end to end. Okay, so that you will see how the pipelines work for different environments and so on. These concepts of branching, pulling, pushing, all of them will be helpful during this CI/CD pipeline creation, as well as when we create a Terraform projects, Kubernetes projects, we will also see how to manage our files. That's what we have learned, right? Commits, add, and all of these conflicts things. That's where those will be helpful to manage our repositories. And then CI/CD pipelines. Though the CI/CD pipeline part we'll discuss. And yeah, I can say this completes Git and GitHub. Okay, from the perspective of managing the files. Then how to use it in CI/CD, how to have the environments and all, we will learn it once we start Jenkins. We have to first get started with Jenkins for it. So, good to go.
Ma'am, one question, ma'am. Dot git ignore stash. What is the difference, ma'am?
Can you tell me, okay, can anyone answer this question?
Yeah,
what is the difference between dot git ignore and stash?
Dot git ignore is a file in your project which is used for deliberately ignoring any untracked files, or it may be any kind of file which you want to ignore from tracking by Git. Like it exclusively emits such files which are present in .git ignore. Let's say like you have a file extension name like private address. You don't want to track or push accidentally by Git into Git. So you put that name extension in git ignore file. So explicitly Git will not push it even accidentally into your remote.
You can use stash also, right?
Stash is something which you use for, let's say like you have some
you're working on some kind of a files or updates are happening or development or program you've been writing. Suddenly your friend says like, hey, I pushed my code. This is the branch name. Can you review this code? That's where the collaborator comes and accepts that merge request, which Preethi mentioned earlier. So what I will do is like, I save my work under stash. So I will check out to master, and then I will git pull his branch. He will give me his branch name. So I can see his branch under my local. So I can see his code, his changes in remote as well as my local, and I can deploy my application on my local itself. I can see the feature behaving. So that's the reason where you don't have to start from scratch again. You can save your work in progress in stash, and you can pull his branch and you can deploy his changes in your local and see how the feature is working. And then once it is done, you approve his merge request and he will merge it to master. And then you bring back your changes from your stash so that all those work you have done will be in your local again. So that's the reason
I have
stash.
a simple example. I have file one. I can go with either .ignore or .stash. What is the difference? Forget about the branch and big work and all. I have a small file, just single file. Which option I can go?
What do you mean?
It's up to your requirement. If you never want this file one in the repository, then there is no need to stash it.
Yeah. See, let me simplify this. Thank you all for your answers. Yeah. See, in simple, if you don't want this file at all to be tracked by Git, okay, you put it in Git ignore. And stash is Git is still tracking the file. Only certain unstaged changes or else even untracked changes also. You just want to put them on hold, certain changes. Then you will use stash. Right? That is in simple. Like let's say a log file is there. You never want Git to track it, correct? So you put it in ignore. Your log files need not be tracked. So but still it's in the same working directory. So you put it in Git ignore. Whereas there is a file, there is a HTML file or some PHP file. Some lines I have added, but I don't want them for now. Later I need those 2 lines. Then you will use stash.
Yeah. Got it.
Got
Got
it?
it.
Preeti, can you just give more examples? Let's say generally in the project, whether it's on any any technology, you have some bin folder, you will have some DLLs or maybe some jar files uh, in different location, and you want to ignore those folders, probably those folders and subfolders. So how we will do with the help of git ignore? What I there is a certain way to write your file names or maybe folders or folders in the git ignore file. Is
Yeah,
it
Ritesh, I think
correct?
I have explained this already when we discuss git ignore, I already explained this. When you have multiple files with the same extension, you can use wild characters in that git ignore, like star.log or whatever extensions you have. You can use
Okay.
wild characters and ignore all of them. Similarly, folders also can be ignored. If you put the folder name, all the content in these folders will also be ignored recursively. I have
Okay.
mentioned this when we discussed git ignore.
Okay. So let's say I have a folder, let's say ABC. I don't know where it is in the folder. I don't want to be in my Git repository, so I can make it ABC. I will write in the git ignore file. So wherever it will be ignored. Is it, or I
Wherever
have
it
to
will
put
be
some
means,
slash?
one
I
second
mean,
please,
in
wherever
that
it is,
uh,
you have to put the
in
path of that folder. Okay, you should know the path, right? If we don't know where it is, how can we ignore or how can we decide it should be ignored? If you know the folder path, it should be in the repository. In the local repository, that path, if you provide, all the contents will be ignored.
okay.
Also,
But
we will
if
be using this git ignore in Terraform also to ignore state files, state backup files. Also, we'll use to ignore a particular directory in Terraform. All those scenarios we'll see. We have learned Git, we have seen it with some sample files, we have discussed the use cases. We will implement them when we start our projects. Yeah, please go ahead. You're saying something.
uh, it's okay, fine. One more question, not related to this getting no. Can we put some hierarchy while creating this permissions? I
What
mean,
permissions?
approver one must approve, then only approver two will approve. Is there a way? Can we do it in GitHub?
I don't think generally when two
Branch
people
policy.
approve, only
I
both
think
of them approves it, it will be added. Like it will be conflict. It's
I
not that
believe
first
we can
person
do
can.
that. We can
We
do that,
can.
but that's like in a code review stage. It will be going to your collaborators. You can add one more layer like code owner, like a project owner. Then he will also approve. Then only it will be
I believe it's not through GitHub, right? Is it through GitHub or is it through
GitLab.
external
GitLab.
GitLab? I'm talking about GitHub. Do we have it in GitHub
I believe we can do that same thing here as well
with
because I
external
see that
coding and scripting, right? Or with the GitHub itself?
we can do that, but additional layer is nothing but like product owner, like a senior lead or something like that. The other collaborators can be act as like a code reviewers. Like once they approve that, then it goes for additional approval by product owner. Then only it will be eligible
So
for
where
merge.
to add it on GitHub? Do you have an option on GitHub here?
On settings, I believe it should be having on settings. Recently, I haven't worked on GitHub. I've been using GitLabs.
I have used GitHub as well as Bitbucket, but I don't see that kind of hierarchy here. But if you have seen, can you help me with that here?
No, I haven't, but I will see. I will see, and I will add some collaborators, and then I will try to.
Yeah, maybe if you add collaborators, maybe you may be.
Required review from code owners, and then okay.
But how is that hierarchy possible here?
That's something I need to review because we did that in our projects.
Maybe you can try checking it out. There were different options, but not the
Yeah,
hierarchy possible, I think, here.
this
In
is
Bitbucket
all like
also.
this is all like UA stuff. Like we can drill down a lot, but it's not something we need now.
Actually, in Bitbucket
actually in
or
my
on
project,
GitHub.
in my project, we have a DB owner. Okay, DB owner. So whatever the changes uh, my team members used to do first, it comes to me, especially to SQL related changes. I have to approve it. Then only it goes to that DB,
Yeah, like a
database
moderators,
administrator or
right?
what.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have
So
moderators and then the
then,
owners.
but
Maybe
we were
once.
using actually this TFS actually. Team Foundation Services.
It depends
Azure
upon
Team
the
Foundation.
features, I guess. Yeah. But that's something we can, it's like Gmail thing. You can go and search settings and try. That's when you get to
Yeah,
know this.
here
Look,
it is
try to
something like, yeah, you can target branches, something like if you want to like more refine, these are the options available here, like
On the
rule
bottom, I
sets.
see some kind of a permissions. Go
Hmm.
down. Required requirement, request status checks to pass.
Before merging, those are the
Yeah,
same
require
we
a
see
pull
there.
request.
See,
Yeah.
exactly hierarchy possible or not, I can't confirm. Like I said, see, different ways are there to achieve it. Like different branch, different rule sets were there where you can create some rules of our choice. You can experiment on them, but whatever we have used is on Bitbucket and GitHub also. Multiple collaborators we have used, not the hierarchy, but you can try on it.
Something it's possible like we have settings for moderators here, right? Collaborators, like two of them we can set rules like one can be approved for merge or two needed to approve to merge, and then
That we can do, but his question is hierarchy.
I'm coming there. there are some basic protection rules for master branch, right? Before merge, on there, can we define some rules over there? Like
That's what
protection
we have to
settings
test.
by yeah, there are some
Check it
protection
out
settings
from
by
your
master.
end. Okay. Just try from here. Here are some rules. Here are some rules. Exactly. I don't want to confirm because I haven't tested it personally. If anyone have tested personally, you can confirm it or try it and send the screenshot. Yeah. Try it out.
Because
I
if
haven't used
moderators
personally.
are able to merge it to master, then the build masters or build teams will not have any power, So that's the reason. There should be rules. Yeah, we'll try and let you know Preethi, tomorrow.
Sure. So I'm talking about, let's get started with the Jenkins part. And like I said, try out adding some collaborators and experiment on the rules. It might, if there's something is not like whatever directly the rules or some protection rules or whatever is not possible, you can also do that through scripting whenever you are pushing. Additional scripts would be needed there. But as far as personally, I haven't done that kind of hierarchy thing. I have used Bitbucket and GitHub where we'll have multiple collaborators, but hierarchy thing haven't personally tested. You can try it out. If not possible, yeah, additional scripting can help that. Like additional plugins can do in the CI/CD. So with that, I would like to say we will be getting into OS part, like particularly Linux basics first. The reason why we need Linux also we'll discuss why we need to have this Linux basics and the fundamentals of Linux, right? Majority of the DevOps tools, particularly when we talk about Docker, now Docker is available for Windows also, right? Now almost every tool is available for Windows as well, but still Docker is natively developed for Linux and very famous for, like more widely used for Linux, I can say. So that's a one reason. Not only Docker, if you say Prometheus is a monitoring tool. It can monitor other environments as well, like Windows and so on. But it is very great in like when you have to install the actual Prometheus server on Linux only. It can monitor Windows servers, but still it should be installed on Linux server. Same is the case with Ansible and a few other tools were there as such. So we will be in DevOps, particularly for CI/CD, we'll be using a Linux. Again, it's because of the features or robustness of Linux OS, right? We will talk about those and we'll get started with the AWS account and the Linux part. That is for the next session. We shall start from here in the next class. As we have few minutes, let's begin this tomorrow. Any more questions from anyone?
So,
You
ma'am,
have
there
met.
we will learn. So there we will learn Linux commands only, yeah, correct? Or
We
we
will
will
create
require.
a free AWS account. Okay, on that
Okay.
AWS, we shall do this.
Okay.
Hi Preethi, I see that we are doing Terraform, Kubernetes, Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, and things like that. Other than these, what are the other DevOps? I know that there are many more DevOps tools which are used, but other than these, what are the most common, like you see?
We are covering the most widely used tools here. Almost all of them we were using.
Yes,
Like I said, every category has got a tool which is more widely used. Like if you see Jenkins, there were other equivalent tools like CI, Go, CI is there, Code Deploy is there, so many other. But Jenkins is very widely used. If you look in that way, there were so many tools in each category.
Yeah, I used to see like lot of tools earlier, like 4 or 5 years ago. They used to study a lot of tools, but now mostly everyone's been using only these things. So that defines like streamlined. DevOps been streamlined in these past 4 years, or it's still clients using different tools for their needs.
Like I already said, my answer is still the same. Like these are very widely used. Other tools were used, but less. They were in less proportion when you compare with them. It's not that anyone is not using them. They were using, but in less proportion when you compare with these tools.
My last question would be like, do you write Lambda functions in your job
Lambda we don't use here. Lambda is mostly like into development, AWS development. We don't use Lambda here.
Okay. Is it something like you use in Terraform or?
Lambda is a AWS
Terraform.
service.
Okay.
Right? Any AWS
functions,
service
right?
can be configured with Terraform. It's not specific to Lambda. Terraform is not specific to Lambda.
Okay.
And Utkarsh says, I'll practice on GitHub remote and local repository pull push and will let you know if any questions. You can do hands-on completely. Any questions, post them in the group. Okay, it is already 8:40. We have 20 more minutes, but I don't want to start this new topic today. Tomorrow we'll get started with it. If anyone completely new to Linux, you don't have to do any other hands-on or anything. You just start practicing the class from tomorrow. That will be all set. We'll create a free AWS account tomorrow. Or else let me do one thing. As we have some time, I'll just show you creating AWS account. Okay, why this AWS account and all, I'll show you in a flow, but just start creating it, okay, so that you can have just at least account get created by tomorrow. Yeah, it's very simple. So let's do that today. I'll not explain anything, but just a account creation. Okay. And this is your Google Drive, right? By now you might have got access to this Google Drive. Yeah. Here, if you go, yeah, lab setup on AWS, right? AWS instance creation. Here itself is the account creation also. Just here, follow the first 6 steps till account creation. That's all. Okay. Rest of the things we'll discuss tomorrow. It's very simple. See, like any other, we are all into online now. We know how to create an account. Every one of us knows this. Very simple. But anyway, screenshots were attached. I doubt whether these are latest screenshots or not. But this is the page you should go. Why do we need this AWS account? What is AWS? I'll explain tomorrow. Okay, just create an account here. See, AWS free tier, hands-on experience with AWS platform, create a free account. If you scroll down here, it will show you what is free actually. See, it's a 12 months free. 12 months free means it's not unlimited, okay? 12 months free. And what is free? What are all the free you have here? Most of the time, like we'll be using, here you can choose the service. There are hundreds of services. You don't need to learn all those AWS services. Okay, whatever we need as a DevOps person will be using it. This is the one. Amazon EC2, S3 will be using. We'll be using few other services. But see here, 750 hours per month. 12 months free means it's not that it's free for 12 months. You can use anything on AWS. There is a limit in the free tier. Okay, 750 hours are free per month. Means EC2 is nothing but ledger. Let's say it's a virtual machine. A Linux machine will create there. You can use it for 750 hours per month. Every month you will get this 750 hours. It's more than enough. We don't use 750 hours in a month. So we can use it for free. So like that, every service has got certain limits. Accordingly, we have to use it. So go here and create a free account.
Yeah, you have a student account, student email, you get much more instance and money for AWS account as well, like $200
Okay.
for free.
I'm not sure about that student thing. Here we are creating a free account, a general account. Everything will be free here. Sign into the console. Oh, sorry. I should create an account there. Right, this is the one you see. Put some email ID, okay, some account name, click on verify and just navigate through them. Don't choose this is an existing account. If you want to create account, go through these steps. It is just some I think 6 pages or 4 pages, right? You should navigate through. and in one of there where it will be asking for the credit card details, right? You have to provide your credit card details. That is for verification purpose only. Okay, it will be deducting you some 2 rupees also. It will also credit that amount back after verification. So you have to provide that, and some billing address, any address you can provide. That's all. So once your account is created, you can log into it and you can search for services. That part we will do tomorrow. So if you want, you can create an account before tomorrow's class. Right? Any questions? Similarly, when you're creating account, you can also post it in the group. Can you do that from your end, all of you? Any questions? Actually, I don't have that email ID. So yeah, verification code, verify and proceed. Just go through these steps and create a free account by tomorrow. So that is all from my end for today. We shall take up from here tomorrow. We'll discuss about it, OS basics, right? Linux basics, and then we'll come to this part of EC2 instance. Anything else from your end?
How many Linux classes will be there?
How many?
Linux classes?
Maybe 2 classes. Linux basics to get started. Throughout the course, we'll be using a lot of Linux. We will look into the basics in 2 sessions, and we'll be using those shell scripting and all those in the pipelines as well. Yes.
Preethi, can we use Git stash in remote GitHub?
Local, though that's for version control system. Git stash is for version control system, not for remote repository. And your documents for AWS account creation are in this folder. Git hands-on documents were here. All right then. So that's all from my end. See you all tomorrow. Bye everyone. Have a good day. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.